So today I have the great pleasure of introducing two presenters from St. Petersburg, Russia, Lada Zimina, who's a junior research fellow, and Antonina Puchkovskaia, I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, who's director of the International Digital Humanities Center and associate professor at ITMO University in St. Petersburg. Over to you, Lada and Antonina.
Thank you very much, Leah, for introducing us, and thank you, guys, for organizing everything. That's a great pleasure to join such a great event and to talk about our project. And Lada will, already shared our presentation, so she will be in charge of switching the slide. With action as a DH center at the ITMO University, so we're quite young DH center, and we launched it about like 3 years ago, and everything started for us with this project that we are going to talk about, and just a brief introduction how everything started for us is that ITMO University is well known in Russia and hopefully beyond Russia as a very STEM-based university. So when we first launched the initiative about like, let's do some DH projects, it was a great surprise. And from the very beginning, we knew that we need collaborating with our cultural institutions. And luckily enough, we have plenty of them in St. Petersburg. So we decided that having all these people with the technologies and computational analysis skills and knowledge, we will talk and open the dialogue with cultural institutions and actually work, like hand in hand, developing the project. So our first and very beloved project is called St.Retrospect. Lada, could you please just, the next slide, please. Yeah, so and it's actually about sort of like visualizing cultural memory of St. Petersburg. So it's quite a young city, actually. It's only 300-ish years old, but it's already encompassed lots of cultural phenomena and very amazing people who lived and work in St. Petersburg. So we just decided to map everything. So we used mapping as a tool and format for actually collecting all these memories and representing them. So our mission, as it posts in the slide, is actually visualization of local history and culture of St. Petersburg, and making them and making it not just a regular map that you can just click on it, but actually make it more sort of like immersive experience. So when you're clicking on the location that is on our map, you can see retrospectively what kind of people live there, what they did there. So you kind of like see how this cultural memory is collected throughout the centuries. So that was our main idea and main goal. And it's also a very ambitious sort of like objective and goal. So we started as a very very enthusiastically, but then we sort of failed a couple times and faced lots of challenges and problems. And I would be happy to talk about them as well, because it's sort of like bright and the other side of the project. So yeah, on the slide you see the project pipeline. So as I said, we start from open the dialogue and working closely with the library that we have, one of the biggest in Russia and one of the biggest in St. Petersburg, Russian National Library. And we asked them to help us to collect all the memoirs and sort of like machine readable texts connected to sort of like cultural life and history of St. Petersburg. What they helped us, and they did, but it was not actually enough. So we still sort of like collecting, and we're still talking to other librarians to help us to build our data set, and Lada will continue with that as well. So what we did, we collect the sort of like data set, and our next goal, because again, we're really keen on technology and especially machine learning, which is quite hype. So we continue with applying different technologies and different sort of like computational analysis onto our data set. And then we sort of like face lots of challenges and problems, because first of all, it's a Russian corpus that we collected, and not that many computational analysis within and tools and libraries within machine learning and deep learning even work really well on Russian sort of like corpora and language. So what we try to apply is an entity recognition algorithm. And we already have a library called Natasha that really helped to sort of like extract all these important names and locations. But again, so why we failed, it was just because it not really sufficient and the accuracy is still really low, especially when we talk about, you know, like digital humanities project, because the main part is still humanities. So that's when we sort of like, I can't say that we gave up, but sort of that we write a couple articles and then we understood that we have to collect most of the things manually using sort of like crowdsourcing, helping get help from our students within our digital humanities master program. And then when I sort of like we met with Lada, because Lada was a second year master student and already graduating from the program, and she just you know, helped me to change this project and make it more open to the public, and helping to, you know, like rethink and redesign the database that we have, the architecture of database that we have. And I would be happy to give the floor to her to continue on this presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Antonina. I will go on with some changes that we decided to make after we realized that the technology didn't work the way we expected it to. We decided to sort of go not from the technology itself, like name entity recognition, but from the user scenario, from the way how people could use our platform and how to make their experience better. Because we already had some data that was that the algorithm helped us to collect, and we also worked a lot on manual data collection, and we had some data, but it wasn't enough. So the user could just go on the website and not like type on the query and not find anything. So we decided that the best solution would be to work on that issues that the user could encounter while using our products, like the website. And we also decided to make another application, like mobile application. These both things, they would help create a better immersive experience for the user. So for the web, we decided that our main goal would be to make a better search. So now we are using Elasticsearch search engine. It really helps with typos, because before we had it, yeah, our search engine couldn't handle the typos. Now everything works regardless of how it is like written. We also applied some filters. So the user is not necessarily should like search the name of the person that he wants to find, but just filter the the century or the type. For example, the user wants to see all the artists from the 18th century, and here they would be. And also some pre-made collections. For example, some people that we have a lot of information on are compiled into a pre-made collection, and the user could just click from one location to another chronologically, like where this person have been throughout their life. And we also have a mobile application that focuses on mostly it's dedicated to gamification of the same data. So basically both these products work on the same API and they use the same database that I will talk about later, just right now actually. I would like to show you a little bit what do we have like from the inside of our project and how our API works and everything. So let me go to the browser. So yeah, that's how our API looks right now. Yeah, as I said, we have everything for mobile application and for the web application in the same place. So here you can find the information about the quests. Quests are made for the mobile application and locations that we store as collection of location instances. I say collection because we use MongoDB as our database engine, and they use collection of documents. So what does it mean? It means that every location in our database is presented not as a dot on the map with some description, but it's actually sort of a collection of different institutions, for example, that were in this building, or the buildings that were built in the same place, because the cities tend to change and the buildings also change their purpose. That's how we used we solved the problem of creating like really long texts in description, because we have now just 3 short texts in a place of 1 long text. It really helps us a lot with the mobile application also. And another thing that I wanted to show to you was the, sorry, I need to do it like this. Our database, it's the visualization of the data that we collected so far. And this shows pretty much what do we have and what are the drawbacks of the data and flaws that we have so far, and some points that we should really work on. Yeah, this visualization shows the relations between people, personalities, and locations. So the yellow ones are the locations and the blue ones are people. It's sort of yeah, network of St. Petersburg that is present in our database. And yeah, as I said, it presents some of the flaws in our data that we have so far. For example, this biggest one is the Russian Academy of Arts that sort of illustrates that we really have a lot of artists and sculptors and architects, and not as many people who come from the other backgrounds, basically because our data set is collected mostly manually, and this is the topic we were working on harder than on others. Okay, yeah, and we also have an API that is fully available for anyone who can use it. It is a GraphQL API. I won't waste time on showing how it works. But yeah, you can totally use it if you're interested in history of St. Petersburg. Yeah, this is how the collection in web looks like. On the example, we show the location that Peter Tchaikovsky is connected with. There are a lot in the city, and the markers are distinct by the type of connection. For example, like yellow ones are where he lived, and blue ones are where he worked or just stayed for a while, like visited. Red one is where he like sort of partied, and yeah, green one is where he studied, etc., etc. And I would also like to talk a little bit about our mobile application. Yeah, as I mentioned before, we decided to focus on gamification because it seemed to be a nice distinction between web and mobile, because like mobile is something that you use sort of on site. And how gamification works in our application. Yeah, of course, we have quests and sort of like interactive novels that tell us these narratives, more like tours around the city. But we also have some game mechanics like achievements. We have quizzes. We have collections that users can collect, like the cards that he can find. It is how our links between people and locations are presented in the mobile application. Like we sort of suggest user to catch the historic Pokemon in different locations. Like they can see if, for example, Tchaikovsky visited some building. So consequently, the user will find Tchaikovsky there. Yeah, that's pretty much how everything works. And some examples of user scenarios that we have for the mobile application. It's like we suggest to organize the first exhibition of the Wanderers. The user will go around the city. Oh, excuse me. Wanderers is the group of artists that were active in Russia in the late 19th century. They were pretty famous in Russia. I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but yeah, so the user will go to the different location and help first organizers of the exhibition to actually do it. Or for example, we suggest the user to spend one day with the famous publicist, Vissarion Belinsky, and see what were the locations that were really remarkable on the map of, again, late 19th century, connected with literature. And another example of the interactive novel, it is help Dostoevsky to publish his first novel, Poor People. And again, the user would go around the city, sort of accompanying the Dostoevsky and showing his manuscript to different publishers, and finally get his book published. In the end, I would like to talk a little bit about technologies in case you're interested in how everything works. Yeah, we use React Native for mobile development. It helps us really to save a lot of time and money because we only need one programmer who would do the whole application. Administrator service and web interface both work on React. We use MongoDB for the database and GraphQL for the API. Yeah, we also use some Yandex-based services for speech generation and other things for the mobile application. And yeah, we really try to use all the resources that our university can provide us with, and also are trying to collaborate with our other institutions around the St. Petersburg. And we are really hoping to build the community because such a big project cannot exist only in one institution and only in the university. Of course, we need the help from the local contributors of data. And actually, this is our plan for the future, to build the community around our platform and to make it bigger and more accessible for wider audiences. Thank you.